Deep under the quiet hills of Poland, a secret tunnel from the Nazi era has been uncovered untouched for nearly 80 years. What looked like just another wartime bunker is now raising serious fear and questions. Strange marks on the walls, fresh air in sealed rooms, and traces of recent movement hint that something hidden still exists down there. This discovery might change everything we thought we knew about the Nazis' darkest secrets. The unexpected discovery. The region around Wałbrzych in southwestern Poland is a place of hills, dense forests, and winding rivers that seem to hide secrets in every shadow. For decades, researchers and local historians have been fascinated by its past. During the Second World War, this area was heavily industrialized and strategically important. Recent survey work by a joint team of archaeologists and engineers has been mapping the terrain with the latest technology, while archivists have been combing through old German records, wartime maps, and eyewitness accounts. The combination of these efforts suggested that something unusual might lie beneath the surface, something that had gone unnoticed for decades. The discovery came almost by accident. A group of explorers initially drawn to the region for a documentary project noticed strange depressions in the forest floor. Rumors of secret Nazi tunnels were whispered among locals, stories dismissed as legend or exaggeration, but the explorers had more than hearsay to go on. Ground-penetrating radar scans revealed voids beneath the soil in patterns that could not be explained by natural erosion. These scans hinted at a network of tunnels running far deeper than any known mine in the area. The team compared their findings with historical maps from the 1940s. Many of these maps showed blank spaces and curious markings, which some scholars now suspected were coded references to hidden infrastructure. Witness statements added another layer to the puzzle. An elderly man recalled seeing trucks entering a hillside with no apparent exit points. He described rail tracks that disappeared into the earth, a claim that now seemed plausible in light of the radar results. The idea of a secret rail system operated by Nazi Germany during the war, buried to avoid detection, was both thrilling and daunting. Excitement rippled through the research community. To uncover such a site could rewrite local history and reveal details about wartime engineering previously unknown. At the same time, skepticism remained strong. Could these radar anomalies really indicate tunnels, or were they natural cavities? Even if they were human-made, how extensive were they? The logistical challenges quickly became apparent. Permissions were needed from regional authorities. Safety measures had to be planned, and the cost of exploring deep subterranean passages was significant. The team worked tirelessly to secure access and prepare for an initial descent. On the day of the first expedition into the shaft, the air was heavy with anticipation. The entrance was narrow, almost hidden beneath a thick layer of moss and leaf litter. As the team lowered their equipment and peered into the darkness, a strange metallic smell drifted upward. Their lights cut through the shadows, revealing walls that seemed impossibly smooth for tunnels of this age. Then, as they moved further down, the unexpected emerged. At the bottom of the shaft, the tunnel opened into a chamber unlike any they had imagined. Rusted rail tracks curved away into darkness, but scattered across the floor were strange crates marked with symbols that did not match any known military insignia. The walls bore signs of recent activity, and a faint hum echoed from deep within the passage. What they were about to explore was no longer just a forgotten wartime tunnel. It was something entirely different, and it promised to change everything they thought they knew about the secrets hidden beneath Wałbrzych. Mapping the underground maze. The underground maze sprawled beneath the hills like the roots of a giant tree. Unlike the cramped bunkers and narrow tunnels of the past, this complex was vast, stretching hundreds of meters in multiple directions, sometimes descending to depths that challenged the limits of traditional engineering. The main passageways were wide enough for small trains to pass comfortably, with steel rails running along concrete floors. Heavy support beams lined the ceilings at regular intervals, reinforced with layers of concrete, ensuring the tunnels could withstand years of pressure from the earth above. Side corridors branched off like veins, some barely tall enough for a person to stand, while others opened into cavernous halls whose dimensions suggested functions far beyond simple storage. Engineers marveled at the precision. Every junction, every curve, every change in gradient seemed calculated to serve both movement and safety. Ventilation shafts rose like chimneys, carefully angled to ensure airflow even in the deepest recesses. This complex stood apart from the more familiar tunnels associated with World War II. Previous Nazi projects, such as Project Rees in the Owl Mountains, had relied on networks of bunkers carved into hillsides. Those tunnels were deep, but generally linear, designed to shield key leaders or critical equipment. This new maze, however, was on a different scale entirely. Its passages were taller, wider, and far more intricate, suggesting not just concealment, but a capacity for sustained activity underground. The presence of rail sidings hinted at the movement of heavy materials or machinery, something few previous installations could accommodate. Unlike traditional bunkers, which focused on defense and secrecy, this system seemed designed for logistical flexibility and long-term use. Exploring such a complex required more than flashlights and cautious steps. Teams employed laser scanning devices that measured distances with pinpoint accuracy, producing clouds of points that could later be converted into three-dimensional models. Geophysical imaging allowed experts to detect hidden voids behind walls, while 3D mapping software stitched together data from every corridor to create a digital replica of the maze. The process was painstaking, but the payoff was immense. Every beam and wall could be examined virtually, revealing construction techniques and modifications that would have taken years to document manually. As exploration progressed, ancillary chambers began to emerge. Some were clearly storage rooms, stacked with remnants of crates and old containers. Others were ventilation hubs or small sidings where rail carts could be temporarily stationed. Tiny rooms appeared to have served as offices or observation points. Though much had been destroyed or looted over the decades, specialists began to hypothesize their purpose. Perhaps certain chambers were meant to house sensitive equipment or to serve as temporary shelters for personnel. Some tunnels seemed deliberately sealed, their entrances hidden behind reinforced walls, suggesting strategic importance that went beyond mere storage. Then the team entered one chamber unlike any other. Symbols were etched into the walls, cryptic and deliberate, almost as if meant to convey a secret message. The signs did not match any known military codes from the era, and their meaning was unclear. For a moment, the maze seemed alive with mystery, whispering of plans that had been buried along with its builders. As the light fell on the inscriptions, the team realized that what they had uncovered might hint at a far greater secret, a truth concealed beneath layers of stone and steel, waiting for discovery. Hidden purpose, armament, escape route, or gold vault. The tunnels carved beneath the hills of Silesia have long been shrouded in mystery. Their sheer scale and complexity suggest they were more than ordinary bunkers. Some historians believe they were part of a secret war industry relocation effort. As Allied bombers tore through German cities, moving critical factories underground was a priority. The tunnel's heavy concrete walls, reinforced ceilings, and access to existing rail lines support the idea that weapons and munitions could have been produced and stored here. Witnesses from nearby towns recall seeing freight trains entering the tunnels during the last years of the war. In some sections, the tunnels are wide enough to house small industrial equipment, further fueling the industrial theory. Another plausible purpose is shelter and resilience. Entire communities could have hidden within the labyrinth during air raids. Some chambers appear almost vault-like, with thick walls and air filtration systems, suggesting they were built to withstand prolonged periods of isolation. Archaeologists examining the tunnels note features that resemble living quarters, storage rooms, and even ventilation systems capable of sustaining dozens of people. These characteristics point to a design meant to preserve life during times of extreme danger, making the tunnels not just industrial, but human refuges as well. Then there is the possibility that the tunnels were intended as escape routes for Nazi leadership. Many corridors run toward forested hills or hidden rail sidings. Some historians argue that the Nazis, anticipating defeat, planned secret paths to safety. The meticulous planning seen in the layout supports this theory. Hidden exits and complex junctions could have allowed high-ranking officials to disappear quickly. Oral accounts from locals speak of mysterious convoys and trucks that arrived late at night and then vanished without a trace, adding to the intrigue. The tantalizing rumor of treasure cannot be ignored. Stories persist of a gold train, a heavily guarded transport allegedly carrying stolen riches from occupied territories. Certain chambers have vault-like doors and thick steel reinforcements, resembling secure storage rather than industrial facilities. Some treasure hunters claim to have seen markings that could indicate caches of valuables. While archival evidence is sparse, the destruction of documents and the secrecy surrounding Nazi war projects leave a gap where proof might have existed. Contradictions and missing records make it impossible to confirm any single theory. Many files were deliberately destroyed in the final months of the war, leaving historians to rely on fragmented witness accounts, archaeological surveys, and geophysical analysis. Geologists highlight the tunnel's stability, noting that some sections were carved in ways that would not have been necessary for simple storage, suggesting multiple purposes. Opinions among experts remain divided. Archaeologists are fascinated by the tunnel's craftsmanship, while historians debate whether they were built for survival, escape, or theft. Geologists focus on the extraordinary engineering and natural reinforcement of the rock, emphasizing the effort required to construct such a network. Then one day, deep in the labyrinth, the team discovers a steel gate sealed tight for decades. Beyond it lies a chamber so massive that every member realizes heavy machinery will be needed to explore further. Whatever is hidden behind that gate promises to rewrite everything we think we know about these tunnels. Human cost and forced labor. Beneath the quiet surface of the earth, the story of human suffering waits to be told. This tunnel was not built by machines alone. It was carved out by hands weakened by hunger, fear, and exhaustion. Forced laborers, prisoners of war, and people dragged from their homes lived and died here, driven to the edge of endurance by a regime that valued production over human life. Every inch of stone and concrete bears witness to the invisible cost of war, a cost measured not in currency, but in broken bodies and stolen lives. Exploring the tunnels, the team uncovered remnants of the makeshift barracks where workers slept, huddled together on hard floors. Graffiti scratched into walls tells stories in tiny letters, names of those who passed through, desperate pleas, and fleeting messages of hope. Some inscriptions are just initials, others are full names with dates, offering a haunting connection to the people who lived in these dark, suffocating spaces. Signs of malnutrition, injuries left untreated, and the relentless repetition of heavy labor speak volumes. Even the air seems to carry echoes of the past, a reminder that the human toll of such work was enormous. Moving through these passages, the team faced profound ethical questions. How should a site like this be studied without disturbing human remains or disrespecting the memories of those who perished? Preservation must balance with the need to document and understand, and every artifact becomes a delicate testimony of suffering. Legal responsibilities arise as well. Disturbing personal items or skeletal remains can have implications under both international and national law, making the act of exploration a moral as well as logistical challenge. Memorialization is equally important. The tunnel cannot be just an archaeological site. It must serve as a place to remember those who suffered and died, ensuring that the human dimension of this history is never forgotten. When compared to other notorious underground projects of the Second World War, the scale of suffering here becomes clearer. Forced labor camps in other regions of Europe also relied on extreme exploitation, but each site has its own story of endurance and tragedy. The tunnel offers a particularly stark example of the combination of secrecy, speed, and brutality. The relentless pressure to complete construction meant that human life was expendable, a tragic echo of many similar projects where thousands perished in silence. As the team continued their careful search, they stumbled upon something unexpected. Hidden behind a false wall, they discovered a small chamber filled with personal effects. Photographs, letters, and personal belongings lay preserved in dust. Each item told a story of a life interrupted, of families torn apart, and of the unimaginable hardships endured underground. The objects raised new and terrifying questions. What else remains hidden within these tunnels? How many stories have been lost or remain to be uncovered? The chamber offered a chilling glimpse into the private lives of those forced into this brutal work, leaving the team and anyone who learns of their discovery with a haunting sense of what might still lie buried in the shadows. Technological marvels and engineering secrets. During the Second World War, Nazi Germany faced an unprecedented challenge. Allied bombing campaigns threatened to destroy the factories producing weapons, aircraft, and other war-critical materials. The solution they devised was audacious and technically extraordinary. Entire industrial complexes were relocated underground, hidden beneath mountains, hills, and forested landscapes. These subterranean factories were not simple shelters. They were fully functional facilities, equipped with ventilation systems, rail lines, electrical power, drainage, and the ability to carry enormous loads, all designed to operate in complete secrecy. The scale of these operations is hard to grasp. In some locations, tunnels extended for kilometers, branching into vast chambers that could house production lines, storage depots, and even living quarters for workers. Engineers had to consider the type of rock they were excavating, the strength of natural supports, and the risks of collapse or flooding. Some tunnels were bored directly into hard granite, while others passed through softer, sedimentary rock that required extensive reinforcement. Cutting techniques ranged from controlled blasting to more subtle mechanical excavation, all carefully planned to minimize noise and avoid attracting enemy attention. Surprising features emerged from these underground networks. Ventilation systems were far more advanced than might be expected for a secret wartime project. Massive fans pushed air through shafts and ducts, ensuring that workers could breathe and machinery could operate without overheating. Rail lines allowed raw materials and finished products to be moved quickly. Electrical grids were installed to power heavy machinery, lighting, and pumps that drained water from the tunnels. In some cases, chambers were designed to carry extraordinary loads, supporting multi-story production lines deep underground. Every detail was optimized for secrecy and efficiency. These engineering achievements reflect a particular type of strategic thinking. The Nazis demonstrated resilience and adaptability in the face of devastating bombing campaigns. They invested enormous resources into hiding critical industry, understanding that survival depended not only on offensive capabilities, but on the ability to protect the infrastructure that produced them. This strategy required foresight, planning, and an acceptance of extraordinary logistical complexity. Today, these underground complexes present unique challenges for engineers, archaeologists, and safety specialists. Stabilization of tunnels is a constant concern, especially in areas where rock has fractured or soil is shifting. Hazard management is critical because gases can accumulate, machinery may corrode, and flooding is always a risk. Archaeologists must carefully balance preservation with exploration, documenting artifacts without causing further damage. Every shaft and chamber provides clues about past technologies and wartime life, but the work must be done with extreme caution. The story concludes with a moment that captures the imagination. One shaft descends more than 40 meters into the earth. At the bottom, a cavernous hall opens before the explorers. In the corner lies what appears to be wartime machinery, intact and frozen in time. Its purpose and contents are a mystery, and the questions it raises about the scale of the underground war effort linger, inviting the next chapter of discovery. Implications for history, politics, and treasure hunters. The discovery of the hidden underground facility has sent ripples through the world of history and archaeology. For decades, historians have pieced together fragments of Nazi infrastructure, but the uncovering of this tunnel offers tangible evidence of how the regime planned its final months. The layout of the passages and chambers suggests carefully mapped retreat pathways, secret storage areas, and emergency exit routes. It becomes clear that late in the war, Nazi officials were not only thinking about defense, but also about the safe relocation of critical assets. Hidden caches of documents, machinery, and possibly valuables show a level of strategic planning that challenges previous assumptions about the chaos of the final year of the conflict. This discovery forces historians to reconsider how organized the Nazis remained even as defeat loomed. Politically, the implications are complex and sensitive. In Germany and Poland, the tunnel touches on national memory and the way the past is remembered. Germany faces questions about confronting hidden facets of its wartime history, while in Poland, the site intersects with memories of occupation and resistance. Legal questions about ownership of any discovered assets also arise. If gold, artwork, or other valuables are found, determining who has the right to claim them becomes a highly charged issue. Rumors about a gold train, long dismissed as legend, have resurfaced, sparking debates among scholars, politicians, and the public. These discussions highlight how discoveries like this do not just rewrite history, they provoke ethical and legal dilemmas that resonate today. Treasure hunters, archaeologists, and governments have reacted in dramatically different ways. Media outlets have created a frenzy, with speculative headlines and sensational stories. Professional archaeologists caution against unscientific excavations that could destroy invaluable evidence. Some treasure hunters drawn by the prospect of riches have rushed to the site, prompting governments to impose strict protective measures. Stories of looted Nazi caches remind everyone that without careful oversight, the discovery of such sites can do more harm than good. For scientists, every artifact and document must be preserved and studied with care, but the pressure of public attention makes this painstaking work even harder. The site has already revealed remarkable discoveries. Sections of the complex are open, showing ancient chambers filled with artifacts that speak of a forgotten civilization. Some areas are partially excavated, revealing intricate carvings and hidden alcoves, while other sections remain sealed or too unstable to enter. Collapsed ceilings, shifting floors, and unknown hazards keep parts of the site off limits. Beyond the visible, there are spaces that no map has reached, voids that could hold untold secrets. Even after years of work, the vast majority of the underground remains a mystery. This new Nazi tunnel discovery changes everything we thought. What's your reaction? Comment below and share your thoughts.